This video is for Greek class, and this and the next video go along with Croy chapter 6, so if you want to grab your textbook and follow along. This video just extends again the concepts that we've already been talking about with nouns. I'm going to jokingly call these gender-bending nouns. And here's the basic idea, is the first part of this chapter talks about the fact that there are some nouns that are actually masculine. And we know this because of the definite article. But their ending is closer to what we see in the feminine first declension. So also, there are some nouns that are feminine, and we know this from the definite article, but their endings look more like what we see in the masculine, and so it kind of mixes the two things you've seen so far. Technically, the declensions don't have the gender themselves, and that's something we've just kind of like done as a rule of thumb, but so technically this isn't actually anything that's breaking rules in Greek or anything like that. It's just mixing the two concepts that you've seen thus far in a way that's perfectly acceptable. And so as long as you can recognize it, you're not producing it, you're just trying to recognize it. Here's the idea behind it. As you already know, we've talked about this quite a bit. Nouns have these three things. They have gender. They can be masculine, they can be feminine, they can be neuter. Nouns are either singular or plural, and nouns have case. Nominatives are like subjects. Genitives show possession. Datives are indirect objects. Accusatives are the direct objects, and vocatives are the direct address. We've seen this a bunch of times, and if this is something that you want to refresh for yourself, go back to the Introduction to Nouns video, and you can find that and take a look at it, and it will review all these parts for you. In this case, we're looking at nouns then that seem to look different than what we've seen so far. What we've seen so far is these first declension nouns that are typically, not exclusively, but typically feminine, and they follow either this pure eta, pure alpha, or mixed pattern, and once you know the pattern, you can produce any noun. You can change its forms. So too, we've seen second declension nouns that tend to be either masculine or neuter, and so we've seen these ones for masculine, like ha lagos, and we've seen these for neuter, like ta teknon. They tend to have these endings. The declension is not 100% a category of gender, but we've mostly seen masculine ones that fall into this category, or mostly seen neuter ones that fall into this category. This chapter is just introducing you to the fact that there are especially a few common words. And part of the reason for this is for a word to be weird, it has to be common enough for us all to recognize it. So, an example I'll give you from English is, I am going to the mall. I went to the mall yesterday. How do we remember that going is future and went is the past of the same verb? It's because we say it all the time. So these are going to be common words, and so that's why you need to be familiar with them. Here's all that they do, is these words are definitely feminine, and we know that from the definite article. Look at the article. Hey, taste, tay, tain, hi, tone, tice, toss. But they have the endings that we have up to this point associated with the second declension masculine. So hadas, hadu, hado, hadan, hade, hadoi, hadon, hadois, hadas, hadoi. They look weird to us, but they actually match. They have the same gender, the same number, the same case. They just look different than the kind of ways that we've been organizing it in our minds. So this is bringing those parts together. So now you have hey, hadas, tes, hadu, te, hadan. This word means road or way. It happens a lot in the New Testament. Jesus and his disciples are on the road to such and such, or they go on this way, and they head on that way. And so this is a very common word, and so that's why it can be weird. It's going to be okay. It matches what you kind of know as a second declension noun, but it is a feminine word. And the definite article is what tells you that it's feminine. Similarly, you got some words that are masculine. This is one of those. We know it from the definite article. Ha has to be masculine. And yet the ending, these ones are a little bit more tricky. The ending is got some of the things that you would think of as being feminine, but it doesn't quite follow that pattern of the first declension. It's kind of its own pattern. So these ones are just even a little more odd. Again, they're kind of common words because it has to be common to be able to sustain being weird. And so like this word that means prophet, again, you see a lot in the New Testament, as the prophet Isaiah says, as the prophet Jeremiah says, as John the Baptist prophesies. Like you see a version of this all the time. So, ha prophetes, tu prophetu, to prophete, ton prophetein. It looks like the what you know so far as feminine first declension endings, but now attached to a verb, a word, a noun that we know is masculine. And so, again, it's not going to be the end of the world. You're going to be able to recognize it. You're not producing it, you're just recognizing what's there. And so that's the first, like, kind of little part of this chapter. And I'm making a big deal of it because a lot of your vocab words are going to be about this. Again, this is a really short video, so feel free to listen to it again so that you're sure that you've got the idea. And then you should be good to go with the first half of chapter 6. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or to ask them in class. Looking forward to talking to you about this more.